something is wrong with me. Something is going on. It's something deeper. Like all of the extreme things. Can we go back for a second? That's how far gone everything was. Y'all, I don't want to get emotional about this. Please stop. At this point, you're not convincing me. Story, no, my testimony. Hi everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Aisha. For those of you who are new to watching my channel, this video, hopefully it gets out to everybody that it is supposed to get out to. To give you a warning though, this is going to be kind of a sad video. Sad, but yet happy at the same time. Before we start, let's go ahead and give it a toast. We're toasting to ourselves. We're toasting to the growth. We're toasting to all of the positive things that are coming our way. And on that note, cheers. Let's get right into it. I realized that I was depressed about 6 to 8 months ago. Now, I do think that my depression period has been for about 2 years now. I just did not recognize or acknowledge it as depression until 6 to 8 months ago. And I'll tell you why. I am one of those people that have been fortunate enough to not experience depression. It took for me to have children and experience postpartum depression to even know what depression felt like. And for a while, it was more so thinking, oh, I'm just having a hard time with life. You know, things happen to everyone. It's just hard right now. But then, you know, as time went on, months and months and months, I'm like, something is wrong with me. Something is going on. It's something deeper. And I think that that just takes a certain level of self-awareness. Like, depression doesn't always feel like I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to eat. I don't like all of the extreme things. Like, I definitely want to shed light on that. Like, depression doesn't always look like that for everybody. And I want to point out, you know, parents specifically, we are in a depression, but we're still able to function. Most of us are like that. And it takes for you to, I think, sometimes look at your past self and then compare it to who you are now. Like, why am I not doing the things that I used to do that used to bring me happiness? Why have I stopped doing that? Why is all of my focus on this one particular area, and that area doesn't involve myself? Like, you have to ask yourself questions, and that's pretty much where I found myself reach a point where I'm in my closet on my knees crying to God, crying to my Lord Jesus Christ, asking him to help me. I need to take a drink on that. Can we go back for a second? Y'all, I don't want to get emotional about this. Like, I'm really trying to hold it together because that was a really, I mean, the worst time of my life. I am not lying when I say that was the worst time of my life. I was on my knees praying to God to help me. That's how far gone everything was. And I just got loud because I'm very passionate about my truth, as you should too. There is nothing wrong with letting it all out. But when you get to a point where you are begging for help, I'm sorry, I just had to have a moment, but when you are that low, you cannot see, like, you can, sometimes God will bring you to your lowest and isolate you so that you have no choice but to call on him, but to ask him for help, because like literally he was the only person that could help me. I could not help myself. I had no strength. I could not help myself. And like prior to me having this very like dark breakdown and just, it was just so bad, y'all, I thought I could help myself. Not once before I had this breakdown did I ask him for help. I thought I had it because I didn't know how bad it was. And I do not like going to Jesus for small things. I only like asking him for help when I actually need help. But the thing is, I always need help. So I always need to speak to him. I don't need to just be moving like God, you know, can read my mind. Yes, he can read my mind, but I also need to be able to articulate. I had not gone to him when I should have, which was the very beginning when I was struggling. I learned my lesson though. I learned my lesson though. And I'm in a much better place now. Like, it's essential to just, like I said, be able to compare yourself to who you are now versus who you used to be when you felt like you was at your highest level. Just think about a time in your life where everything was pretty much good. Like, you felt like, yes, things will come up every once in a while, but nothing felt out of control. And then you compare it to where you are today, if you are thinking that you are suffering from depression. Compare that. How have I changed? And if is it in a good way? Is it in a bad way? Am I lacking anything? All of the things that we want in life have been given to me, right? But then once that was given to me, I wasn't really like being intentional about the relationship that I had with God. And so I feel like that's what kind of like allowed me to slip into this dark place. And so that's when, thank God, he picked me up, let me know that I could come to him, asked him for help. He's helping me. And I am here today able to share my story. No, my testimony. Like I said before, the things that I used to do that used to bring me joy, why have I stopped doing that? Am I distracted? If so, what is the distraction? Do I need to let that go? Do I need to figure out a balance? What do I need to do? You have to catch yourself before you get too deep. And that was my mistake. I did not catch myself before I got too deep in my depression. And then at that point, it felt like there was no way out. Because at the end of the day, even though this is something that I'm still struggling with, I know that I'm not alone. And the thing is, yes, I have my partner, super supportive, always got my back. But this is something that he could not help me with. He could, you know, of course, being that supportive person, checking on me, being intentional about my load that I have with the kids, you know, all of those things can help. But this is not his fight. This is my fight. Postpartum depression is my fight. He's on my team. But this is something that I have to do by myself as well. This is between me, God, and my intentions on getting well. And all I can do right now is be honest about where I'm at. Hey honey, I'm not feeling well today. Hey honey, I'm kind of stressed out. Hey honey, can you help me with this? Asking for help. That's a hard one for some of us. So I just want y'all to understand the importance of just realizing where you're at. Are you in a good place? Are you in a bad place? How are you feeling? Y'all, let's talk about that real quick before I go. When someone asks, how are you doing? How have you been? Let's normalize being honest. Because I am always quick to say, oh, I'm good, I'm great. And my mentor reached out to me recently. She said, how have you been doing? And typically I always tell her, oh, I'm great, everyone's great, the kids are great, Jamal's great, like everyone's good, right? But this time I was honest with her, y'all. This time I was honest with her and I told her my truth. I said, I'm depressed. I've been depressed. I'm not well. I'm working on it, but I'm not good right now. And I've been struggling for a while, but I didn't know I was struggling. Do y'all know what she said to me? She said, me too. She said, me too. Y'all don't know how much that meant to me. Not the fact that she was going through it with me, but because she felt comfortable enough to share that with me. Because I was comfortable enough to share that with her. It just opened up a whole new like conversation, y'all. Imagine if I would have said I'm good, I'm great, like I normally do. That's what the conversation would have gone, y'all. A false narrative. A false narrative. And mind you, my mentor has the same family dynamic as I. We both have 2 under 2. And I was honest, so she was honest, and now we're in a place where we're like, wait, I see you. You're not alone. Me too. I've been struggling as well. It's been hard. Guys, there is power in honesty. And I just want to say, if we're honest about how we're doing with each other, it breaks down so many walls. It really allows us to be vulnerable with one another. Human beings. And that's what we're missing today. We're giving false narratives about what we have going on and how great our lives are. Please stop. Please stop. At this point, you're not convincing me. Everybody has something that they're going through or struggling with. And I'm not saying that no one has a good life. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that be honest. But this was definitely an experience where I had to face those things head on. I'm not okay. I need help. After I spoke to God, asked for help, I also was like, I need to get in therapy. Got in therapy. Very intentional about that. And I would encourage anyone who's dealing with depression, whether it is postpartum depression or just depression with life in general, definitely tap in with a therapist. Because there are things that go on with us that we're not aware of. So sometimes you need an outside perspective to be able to help you analyze and figure out why exactly you feel what you feel, or what do you feel. Sometimes you don't even know what you feel. Like I said, I did not know that I was depressed. I didn't know what depression was, but I knew I wasn't the same. Thank God I know myself enough to realize, wait a minute, too much time has passed. I've been wrapped up in my mommy duties, my fiance duties, my daughter duties, my friend duties, all of these duties. Pouring into any and everything around me, making sure everything's good, but I'm not good. Who is that good for? You ignore, put it on the back burner, and then whole time you're on the back burner, but you're burning. You're burning.
Pause. This video is for informational and educational purposes only. It is not intended for medical advice. It does not take the place of medical advice or treatment from a physician. You should consult your own doctor or a qualified healthcare professional for specific health concerns and questions.
We have to put ourselves first. And I'm talking to the moms, the dads, the women, the men. Like, this is anybody. We're losing ourselves. We are. Some of us get, most of us get so tapped in with our partner, with our kids, with our friends, with our family, that we are not tapping in with ourselves. We have to. If that means finding a hobby, why don't we have hobbies anymore? And maybe I'm speaking for myself. I don't have any hobbies, guys. YouTube is my hobby now. Actually, correction. This is my hobby now. But that's me just now getting back into YouTube. And what did I say in my last video, guys? I've been missing for 2 years. 3 years. That's how long I've been tapped out of who I am, guys. What I like to do. But I want to correct myself because other things, I'm obviously doing other things that make me happy. Spending time with my family, love that. That's the thing that makes me very, very happy. Let's be clear. But I'm just saying the things that don't involve anyone else but Aisha. That's how long I've been tapped. That is a very long time. I've lost myself, but thank God he's helping me find myself too. And although I am not the same Aisha that I was before I became a mom, before I became a fiance, I am still me to my core. And that's who I love. And that's who needs to be well enough to be able to love everybody else around her in a very healthy way. We're healing over here. And that's what we're focused on. And I think that those of you who are not parents yet, but are becoming parents, or wanting to become a parent in the future, you hear about postpartum, but you don't know about it until you actually experience it. And it's really your brain catching up to the reality, like the new reality of, I can't do these things anymore. I actually don't even want to do these things anymore because I want to focus on my kid, make sure my kid is good. I am not doing these things. I don't want to do these things because I want to make sure my partner is good. That happens so often. And honestly, I think it's natural because so many of us do it. It's just that you have to catch it and then be like, okay, I need to be intentional about doing the things that I want to do, the things that make me happy. If I don't know what that is, I need to spend time trying to figure that out, because that's important. I have to keep my identity because I don't want to lose myself, and then I forget who I am. I don't even know what I like. You don't want to get that far. And like I said, before experiencing postpartum, you hear about it, but you don't really know what it is. I will be honest. I was the first person saying, oh no, I don't have postpartum, I'm fine. Like, oh no, I don't have postpartum. Like, you don't want to identify with anything negative, right? But this is such a learning opportunity for me because I'm learning so much about myself. Like, now I know what it is to be depressed. Now I know the signs that I show when I am depressed. So now in the future, I can catch myself and I can recognize, hey, I'm getting depressed. Hey, I'm depressed. Hey, I need to do this, that, and the third to make sure that I don't end up in a place where I used to be. So, you don't know until you know with some things. And I just want to close this video out by saying, being depressed doesn't look a certain way. Your depression is not, it doesn't look like my depression. Even though we may have some similarities, everyone is different and everyone handles different things differently. So please just take the time out to really understand who you are, because it is only then that you'll be able to recognize what's going on with you, if anything is going on with you.